Hi, you guys. It's Yaz, and today I'm going to talk about what the demonic narcissist knows that you don't know. See, when you get involved with a narcissist, you think the narcissist is in the same mindset that you're in. You think that narcissist wants the same things that you want. And I just did a reel about this where I spoke about narcissists were never all in. And that's the truth. They never really were all in. And you find that out later on. That's why a narcissist could leave you so coldly because they were not all in. They were not all vested into the relationship. But I'm going to get into ways, and explaining how the demonic narcissists know the things that they know that you didn't know, okay? And this is what blindsides people later on. So, number one, what the demonic narcissist knows that you don't, they know off the bat that they never loved you, but they were there for other reasons, okay? Narcissists don't trust love, so they will not submit to love. In order to love somebody, you have to submit to them, okay? That takes sacrifice. That takes vulnerability. These are all things that the narcissist knows they're never going to do. They just put on an act and pretend. So the demonic narcissist knows that they will never love you, but what they will do is use you, okay? And that they're not there for the same reasons that you're there, okay? So demonic narcissists, they know that from the onset. They know that they're never going to love you. They know that it's all a game, okay? And that brings me to the other thing that the demonic narcissist will know that you don't. They're playing a game with you, okay? They're playing a game with you, only you're not playing any games. You went in the relationship with an open heart, showing your own vulnerability, trusting this person, but that narcissist didn't give you the same. What they did was they played the game, okay? And narcissists think that life is a game. So that's the other thing that the demonic narcissist knows that you don't. They're playing a game, but you don't realize they're playing a game. What's another thing that a demonic narcissist knows that you don't? They know that they have a shady past, okay? And a lot of people that get involved with narcissists, they don't take this into consideration. What I'm about to give you is gold, okay? When you get involved with somebody, and this is one of the biggest red flags in spotting a narcissist or a toxic person, you've got to look at their background. You've got to look at their past. You've got to look at their track record, where they've been, all right? But see, that demonic narcissist is not going to let you know their shady past. They're going to try to hide their shady past. And how do they do that? They deflect all shame that they inflicted on their exes or on other people. They're going to put all the shame that they had on these people. So they'll say things like, oh, my ex was crazy. Oh, my ex cheated on me. They're going to play the victim to you. But it's up to you to not be naive and believe everything that comes out of their mouths. It's like when people come to me and they explain a situation of their relationship, people that I coach, and they say, well, they said this or they said that. The first thing I say to them is, how do you know that that is truth? Because they told you that? You don't know that that's truth. You don't know something's truth unless you do your due diligence and you really check this person out inside out, because they're going to lie to you. They're going to tell you whatever you want to hear in order to get the benefit. So a demonic narcissist knows they have a shady past. They all have shady pasts, you guys. And if you look at somebody's track record, it's going to tell you who this person is, okay? It's going to tell you who this person is. And so many people don't take that into consideration. Or how the narcissist will gaslight is they'll say, oh, I used to be like that, but I'm not like that anymore. Well, a leopard doesn't just lose their spots, okay? Unless they have a proven track record of actually changing, they haven't changed, okay? They haven't changed because that's their pattern of behavior. And that takes, an awakening. That takes, an exorcism pretty much in order to get them to change. All right. So the greatest indicator of future behavior is prior behavior. And that's why I'm bringing this up, because the narcissist's shady past tells you, well, if they were shady with their exes, guess what? They're going to be shady with you. If they lied to their exes, if they cheated on their exes, guess what? They're going to do that to you, okay? What makes you think that you're so different? Why? Because the narcissist sat there and told you how much they love you? Those are just words. Those are just words. What has this person proved to you? Most of the time people trust without somebody actually proving that they're trustworthy, okay? And that's the whole intent, the whole goal of the narcissist is to get you to trust, way very soon in the relationship. That's why they move quickly, because they don't want these things to come out later on, because what's in the dark always comes out in the light, and the narcissist knows it. And so that's why they have to rush, get you all into the relationship so that they could get that supply. That's why they may rush marriages. Anybody that's rushing a marriage or moving fastly, that is suspect, okay? Because you have to say to yourself, what is the reason for rushing a marriage? They're after something. They're after something, or, if it's young kids, it's puppy love or something like that. But what the demonic narcissist doesn't want you to know, okay, is that they're out for your supply. They're not out for you. They're out for your supply. And they don't want you to know their shady past, because if you know their shady past, it's, going to give you a heads up to what they're going to do. So like I said, they're either not going to tell you about their shady past, or they're going to gaslight you and say, oh, I used to be like that, but I'm not like that anymore. I found God and everything like that. This is all gaslighting. They have not found God, okay? And you will know it by their fruits, how they live. How does this person live? How they live shows you who this person is, okay? So what a demonic narcissist knows that you don't is that they have a shady past, and they're going to repeat that past with you and the next one and the next one and the next one after that, okay? The next thing a demonic narcissist knows that you don't is that deep down they hate you, okay? Deep down there's a hatred there, there's a jealousy there, but they don't show that, especially the covert narcissists. They know how to hide it. They'll sit there, they'll pretend to be nice to you, they'll give you a smirky smile, they'll show fake humility, they'll tell you a sob story, show you fake vulnerability, okay? They'll pretend they're with you, they'll pretend they're just like you, they'll pretend they like you, but deep down they're in competition with you, okay? So the demonic narcissist, the thing that they know that you don't know is that they secretly hate you and that they're in competition with you for whatever it is, okay? And people say, well, what are they in competition? It could just be your light. It could just be your spirit of happiness. They just want to tear you down because they're jealous, or they can be competitive because maybe you're doing better in your life and they don't like that. That makes them feel inferior, all right? The next thing the demonic narcissist knows, all right, that you don't know is that they don't believe in God, all right? And this is what they try to do. They try to fool you into making you think that they're a person of God. They're a God-fearing person. How do they do that? They may speak about God. They may pretend to go to a religious organization or even be part of a religious organization. They may go in front of a preach and confess their sins in front of you to pretend that they're somebody of God, when this is all a performance, all right? This is a performance. They want to make sure that you see that. They want to make sure that you see that they're going and they're confessing their sins, or they're pretending to believe in God and everything like that. I had a narcissist one time. He actually put the Bible app on his phone because he knew when he was sitting next to me, I would glance over or see his phone and I would see that Bible app. And that was to fool me into thinking he was a man of God when he was the farthest thing from a man of God, okay? But these are the little things that they will do to try to fool you. So what the narcissist knows that you don't know is that they don't really believe in God, and they are not a person of God, okay? Because just because somebody holds up the Bible, just because somebody talks about God, does not mean they are necessarily a person of God, all right? Those type of people are false prophets, okay? They're using God for their own agenda, to mask who they really are, to fool people into thinking that they're trustworthy. But if they're not living according to God's laws, and I brought this up in my older podcast, which got copied, all right? If they're not living according to God's ways, then they are not a person of God, okay? And I'm going to bring this up. I am going to bring this up because we have a lot of false prophets in this world that are going around using God, preaching to people, telling people how they should and shouldn't live, right? But one of the things they shouldn't be doing is judging people, okay? Because only God is able to judge somebody, all right? It's not up to mankind, womankind, humankind to sit there and judge somebody, all right? That's left to God. When you judge somebody, you're acting, in God's place, and that's not where you should. That's somebody who's trying to be superior, and that is not a person of God. And I had to bring this up, and that's one of the ways you're going to be able to recognize that you're not dealing with a person of God, because a person of God leaves it up to God, okay? A God may say to people, use your discernments, know them by their fruits, who you should deal with and who you shouldn't. But to sit there and ostracize somebody, or to, be cruel to somebody and judge somebody, that's not a person of God, all right? You may disagree with how somebody lives, but it's not up to you. It's up to God for God's judgment, not your judgment, all right? If you don't want to deal with that person, that's fine, okay? You distance yourself. And it says that in Scripture. You distance yourself from people that you feel are evil or, conflict your beliefs or something like that. But you don't sit there and pass judgment on them, all right? That's not you to be the one to judge, all right? So that's how you know that the demonic narcissist is not a person of God, because they're judgmental. They judge everybody, okay? They judge people, they criticize people, and meanwhile they're sitting in church or a mosque or synagogue pretending they're a godly person, and then they come out and they're judging people, or they're cutting them off in the parking lot, okay? I have to, when I used to go to the church, you guys, it was like the funniest thing, the church I used to go to. These people were the biggest hypocrites. They would go to church, be sitting there, right? Come out of mass, and it was a big crowd in a small parking lot, and when I tell you, they were cutting each other off, rude, yelling, screaming, wouldn't let a car go before them. And I said, look at this. Look at the hypocrisy here. These people are going to church pretending to be people of God, and meanwhile, there is no kindness, there is no courtesy, there is no respect. They're cutting people off in the parking lot like the animals they are. And I said, these people, they can go to church all they want, because they're not acting the way they should be acting, by being kind and, love thy brother, love thy sister, being, not trying to always put themselves first. So this is another thing that the demonic narcissist doesn't want you to know. They're not people of God, all right? They are not people of God. They're hypocrites. That's what they are. They're hypocrites. The other thing that the demonic narcissist knows that you don't know is that they deep down hate themselves, okay? They hate themselves and they hate the world. They feel they've been cheated. If you've lived enough life and you've been around a lot of narcissists, you will know that deep down they feel they got cheated in life. This is why they feel entitled to everything. This is why they feel it's okay to cheat people, all right? Because they feel they've been cheated. I've seen it in their mindset. I've seen it in how they act. And this is what they deep down think, okay? They feel that they've been cheated, but they don't want you to know that, okay? The other thing that a demonic narcissist knows that you don't, they're not with you for what you think, all right? They tell you they love you. Oh, they want love. Oh, they want marriage. Oh, they want kids. Oh, I want, I'll be with you till the end of time. God brought us together. All of this nonsense. But deep down, they saw something in you that they wanted. They were either lusting after you or you were a good thing. You had a good bankroll, okay? You had a good financial situation. You might have came from a family of money. You may have your own money. You may have a business. You may have a good career. You may own a home. They sized you up before they got with you. And that's why they went with you, because generally when they go in for the long haul, you have a very good supply. All right. Like if they're looking to marry you, you know, you have a grade A supply. You have something valuable that they need. All right. So, but they'll tell you, oh, I love you. It's you. You have a beautiful heart. All right. Like when you ask the narcissist, what is it that you love about me? They all say this. Oh, I love you because you have a beautiful heart. Because they're trying to mask their true intent, that they see maybe you have a beautiful home. Okay. You have a beautiful bank account. You have a beautiful inheritance. This is what they see. Okay. So the bottom line is, they're not with you for what you think. So this is something that the demonic narcissist knows that you don't. All right. Now, the other thing that they know that you don't is that they're miserably unhappy and they want to take you down. All right. They want to make you unhappy. And this is the end result of narcissistic abuse. You go in, it's blissful, it's happy, it's the love bombing stage. They're making you feel good, right? They're flattering you. They're giving you a lot of attention. Who doesn't like attention? We all love attention. We all love to be flattered, right? And especially in a cold world where people are out for themselves. And here comes the narcissist, okay? Flattering you, making you feel good. And a lot of people give it a chance because it feels so good. Because in today's world, you're lucky if people even give you a second phone call because people are all over the place. Well, here comes the narcissist that gives you all that attention, and they do it to fool you, all right? So you're living this life of happiness in the first 3 months. You think like, oh, wow, this is great. I found the love of my life, everything, till it all goes left. And the narcissist becomes mean, devalues you, sees things they don't like in you. They have another supply somewhere. Now they're going to pick on you, bash you, put you down, devalue you. And why do they do that? Because a lot of times they're angry because they feel you never made them happy or you didn't meet their needs. Because they got to blame somebody. That's what it is. They got to blame somebody for the fact that they're never happy. They're always miserable. And they want to bring you down and make you miserable. And they especially will want to make you miserable if you ever challenge that narcissist. Because don't ever challenge the narcissist in their eyes, or they will seek to destroy you, okay? Because that's a narcissistic injury to them. So they don't want you to know that they're miserably unhappy, and underneath, they want to break you and make you miserably unhappy because of that jealousy. They don't want to see you happy. They want to see you miserable. That's why a lot of times they don't want to let go of you. They want to keep a hold on you so that you can't go off and be happy and live freely, all right? Especially if they see you going with somebody else, they're going to try to sabotage that if they can. The other thing the demonic narcissist knows that you don't is that they can recognize your strength when you can't, all right? Now, I did a reel about this, and I spoke about this, and this is what a lot of people don't understand. Demons can recognize the strength of an individual, okay? They know. They know who they can play with and who they can't, okay? And they will fear the day that you realize your power, or you have your strength, when you get to that point of knowing, I am a good person. I didn't do anything dirty to this person. I was open. I was honest. I was loyal. The minute you get your power back is the minute that narcissist is going to fear. That demon is going to fear, because now they know you have your power, okay? And they recognize it even before you recognize it. They know that you have it within yourself. But they will be terrified when they start to see that you start to get your power and your strength back, and you're not wavering and doubting yourself anymore. Stop that doubting, that self-doubt. That's what the narcissist wants. They want you to self-doubt. They want you to think that you're the problem, okay? That's why they gaslight you all the time. So the narcissist, the demonic narcissist, recognizes your strength. And when you start to get stronger, and this is what happens with an empath, and I did a reel on this, the empath is going to get stronger because in time they're going to realize, hey, the problem isn't me. The problem is I'm dealing with a toxic person. The narcissist is going to get weaker, and the demon is going to know your inner strength, all right? They know they can recognize your strength. And the minute they see that strength coming out, that's when they're going to run. They're going to run. They're going to try to shoot you down. But when they know that they can't shoot you down, you're becoming too strong, that's when they're going to run, and they're going to smear you and try to ruin your reputation and tell everybody that you're a mental case, all right? Because that's all they can do. That's a desperate narcissist trying to discredit you. But once you have your strength, they're not going to want to be around you, because they know that you will eat them up and spit them out. How do I know? Because I have been through this. I have been in a point in my life. I have been through many traumas in my life, you guys. I've been scapegoated. I've been gaslit. I have been left for dead. I know what it is, okay? And it wasn't through God. If not for God, I would not have my strength. That's why I say God keeps you grounded, all right? God keeps you grounded. I have many people that come to me and say, I don't have family. I've been abandoned, this and that. And I tell them, you're not alone. You're not alone. God is always with you. You have to be in tune with that. And that's where your strength will come out, all right? If not for God, I may not even be here today, all right? And that's just a fact. So the point in all of this is the demon recognizes it, just like they recognized it with Jesus. They said, Lord, what are you going to do with us? All right. They recognized that he was the Son of God, and they panicked because they knew the strength. They knew the power of God was there. All right. Now, you could believe that, or you could believe whatever you want. Everybody's entitled to believe what they want. This is my belief, and this is what I speak. So the demon will recognize your strength, all right? That's what they don't want you to know. They know that you have it in you, but they will never tell you that you're a strong person, okay? They'll tell you you're weak. They'll tell you you're lazy and all of that, all right? The other thing, okay, because I'm running out of time here, that the demonic narcissist knows that you don't, they know they're never going to trust you, all right? Demons don't trust, all right? They don't even trust God. So if they don't trust God, how do you expect them ever to trust you? They're never going to trust you, all right? So they're going to always be dirty. They're always going to be dirty because they don't trust you. The other thing they know that you don't know, they're a liar, they're a deceiver, they're a trickster, and they live a secret life, all right? They worship Satan's ways. They're never loyal. They hate your good spirit and will try to break you. So, you guys, this is what it is. This is what the demonic narcissist knows that you don't know, okay? So, they're very well aware of your potential. Now it's up to you to be aware of your potential, all right? You don't need the demon to know that you're aware. You need to be aware of your potential. That's why you stay grounded in the truth, all right? That is your sword. Your sword is truth, okay? The greatest sword out there. So when you walk in your truth and you know your truth, that is what will give you your strength, okay? So I hope that helps you guys. I'm a little preachy this morning, but, I'm passionate about this. So I hope this helps you to understand. And if it does, please hit the subscribe button, share the video. If you're looking for confidential one-on-one phone coaching, check out the link in the bio at askyaz.wixsite.com/thegameexposed. I have limited time and availability, you guys. I have just been, I'm swamped with so much going on, right? The other thing is, check out my YouTube. I lay it all down on YouTube, over 7,000 videos at the Game Exposed podcast on YouTube. You can do a search with the search button on my channel, and you'll see whatever you're looking for. Covert narcissists, manipulation, love bombing, devaluation, no contact. All of that is on my channel at the Game Exposed podcast. Facebook, Instagram for more posts, reels is the Game EXP 123, and TikTok is the Game Exposed. And have a great day, you guys.